So, yesterday, the Eruptor was bug fixed to stop the shrapnel from spawning southwest of the bullet, and that led to the Eruptor feeling really, really bad to use. Now, I will say, before we start this video, I don't think this was an intentional nerf. I do think that Arrowhead wants this gun to feel really, really strong to use. However, they should have fixed the southwest thing because, let's be real, the meta, if you're using the Eruptor, should not be, oh, spawn on the northeast side of the map and clear it to southwest. It was funny that it was happening. It was a cool glitch. You could one-shot things when you're aiming southwest. But if we're being honest, a gun shouldn't work like that. And that's what they tried to fix today. Now, it did lead to the Eruptor just feeling terrible again. So we're going to give all the reasons why that I think the Eruptor should just be reverted back to launch. Now, I'll give you guys those reasons first, and then after I give the reasoning for it, we are going to myth bust that the Eruptor was never overpowered, because honestly, I feel like people have rose-tinted glasses, or maybe back in April last year, you guys were playing on difficulty 5. This gun was never overpowered. It wiped groups of small enemies. You know what? I have all the clips. I have footage. I have receipts from original Eruptor. I have original Eruptor footage and receipts. How it was not overpowered for killing groups of small enemies, and it also did not one-shot chargers. That is a myth. Okay, so technically it did, but that was due to the armor desyncing, and we have proof of it. So I will show that later. I've made multiple videos about this gun now. It is probably one of my most researched weapons and talked about weapons in my videos. All right. So with that being said, reason number one for why it should simply be reverted is that Arrowhead, you guys have rebalanced this gun 12 times now. The launch version of Eruptor was not overpowered, which again, we will myth bust later. But point being, why do more effort, do more work to rebalance a gun 50 times when you could just drop the very first version of this weapon? It would make the most sense. It is the path of least resistance. It is literally less work. And then you guys can go on to balancing other things. Okay, so reason number 2 is every time you touch something and it ends up getting broken, this simply causes controversy. I'm honestly heartbroken. A little bit dramatic. It is what it is. But there are about 1 million Reddit posts up right now about how the Eruptor was nerfed, or it's broken, or that there needs to be better QA on this weapon, or this and that. Okay, so again, path of least resistance, just reverting it. And then also, it'll just cause less controversy. I thought we kind of didn't care about overbalancing too much anymore. Pilestat just gave a talk at GDC where he said balance is a myth. Devs shouldn't spend more than 5% of their time on it. And if you balance out all the chaos, you've made an uninteresting game. So in my opinion, it's just causing controversy, and they are balancing the chaos out of this. Okay, so reason number 3 for why the Eruptor should be reverted. So in my opinion, I don't care about the heavy pen on the Eruptor. What is the heavy penetration really doing? Oh, you can two-shot Hulks that are sitting still? I would literally rather use any... I think this is the worst Hulk-killing gun unless you're shooting the heatsink. I would rather shoot the heatsink of a Hulk with when I was using Southwest Eruptor, I shot the eyes once just to test it, and then after that, in real games and real gameplay, I wouldn't use this gun on Hulks. I would shoot their heat sinks, or I would literally switch to my railgun or one of my anti-tank launchers to kill the Hulk, or chuck a thermite at it. This is the worst Hulk-killing weapon in the game because it is unwieldy. It can be hard to aim. A flame Hulk is wobbling, running. Dude, that eye shot is hard to hit. There's literally videos. Background Gaming just posted a video on why it's better to shoot a Hulk in the leg than the eye, because that eye shot is not easy to hit. The heavy pen, honestly, does not do much for this gun. There's a few things it's good for, but whatever. That's besides the point. For the most part, the benefit to heavy pen does not outweigh the cons. So there's that. Number 2 is, in my opinion, in my fantasy of the game, this is a shrapnel weapon, okay? We have explosive weapons. We have plasma weapons. We have laser weapons. We have arc weapons. We have incendiary rounds. We have the sterilizer. We have gas weapons. We have all these different weapon types. The only shrapnel gun in the game is the Eruptor. Okay, the autocannon does have flak. That is also shrapnel. We have 2 shrapnel weapons in the game. This is the shrapnel gun. The bulk of its damage and the way it kills things should be because of the shrapnel. So, in my opinion, stronger shrapnel is the answer for this weapon. And when this gun did have strong shrapnel, it felt good. And when it had weak shrapnel, it's always felt bad since then. Almost always. So when it comes to the fantasy of this weapon, that's how it should work. Okay, so now let's talk about the Eruptor team killing, because one of the main reasons they changed it in the first place was because the shrapnel was bouncing back at you and killing you, or it was just team killing. Now, number one, I can't tell you how many times the Eruptor shrapnel has bounced back to me from any sort of medium range. Like, it just doesn't happen very often at all. Okay, so that's anecdotal. That's my personal experience. Maybe you have a different experience, and that's fine. But number two, let's just read the description of the Eruptor. This bolt action rifle fires jet-assisted shells that explode in all directions upon impact. So not 180 degrees, all directions. That's the first thing. And then it says, not recommended for close quarter use. Now let's pull up the PlayStation blog post when Democratic Detonation dropped. This was almost a year ago now. And what is the description? It says, keep your distance. This bolt-action rifle fires jet-assisted shells that explode shrapnels in all directions. All directions, even your face. So, in my opinion, this gun was properly marketed that it can kill you sometimes. It is what it is. This game has friendly fire. You can kill yourself with this weapon very easily. Okay, so it was marketed as that in the PlayStation blog post, and it also essentially alludes to that in the literal description of the weapon. So, for all of those reasons, like we talked about all the non-balancing reasons why it should be reverted to launch, because the launch version of the Eruptor was the Eruptor that made the most sense from multiple different angles. Okay, now, a lot of people are going to say, you're tripping. Launch Eruptor was OP. Like, I could one-shot a group of 15 enemies, or I could one-shot a charger. So first of all, let's go ahead and myth bust the charger leg glitch. Shout out and thank you to Hippo Pilotomus, who posted this thread 1 year ago. The Eruptor one-shotting chargers was due to a bug. This bug has been present since launch. Getting somewhat irritated with the discussion around the Eruptor because knowledge about this bug is apparently not very widespread, and it's poisoning the discussion around the Eruptor. This bug allows any weapon in the game to kill a charger regardless of armor pen. Case in point, here is me killing a charger with the fucking Redeemer by shooting the front legs and the back legs. So number one, this was known as the charger leg glitch, okay? The infamous reason why the flamethrowers were nerfed during Escalation of Freedom. Everyone remember when flamethrowers felt like everyone was raging about flamethrowers? It's because they fixed the charger leg glitch and the flamethrower no longer went through the charger leg, which was fine if they had buffed the armor pen of the flamethrower so that it could do it in an intended way. So let's just go ahead and watch them kill a charger in the leg with a Redeemer. That's number one. The number two thing we're going to talk about is that this also wasn't only the leg. The armor on anywhere of the body of the charger could desync. So here's a Redeemer. He's getting red hit markers on the leg. You used to literally be able to kill a charger with a pistol. I literally posted a video back in the day titled that exactly. I killed it with a dagger. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the Eruptor does not and never had enough armor penetration to pierce any charger armor besides the back, which is light armor. The charger has heavy armor on its body, legs, and head. The underbelly has light vehicle armor. So the only way the Eruptor could damage a charger was when it hit the orange ass, same as, for example, Scorcher, Punisher Plasma, Dominator. You can test this out for yourself by stunlocking a charger with EMS. And then here's a video of me shooting the charger belly with Eruptor, autocannon, whatever. So we're not going to watch this video. I'm just going to pull up the patch notes. So during the 60-day plan, part 1, they changed charger belly armor. Here's the patch notes for September 17th. They changed charger belly armor. So we're going to scroll down to enemies. We're going to scroll down to chargers. And you can see right here, the belly armor was reduced from armor 4 to armor 2. The charger belly used to be heavy armor pen. You could not damage, at least intended, you could not damage a charger anywhere except for the butt with the Eruptor, unless the charger's armor was desyncing, which it was. Okay, and we're going to show that in a second. Don't worry, we got tons of clips. So basically, here is what happened when you shot the charger in the ass. This is the results they get from shooting the charger in the ass with Eruptor. Now, I'm not sure if this was the no shrapnel Eruptor, though. That's the only thing. It looks like it has shrapnel. And this is not taking advantage of the glitch. This is a clip from a year ago. All right, there we go. And you can see when you destroy the charger's ass, it visibly disappears. So note that in every case, the ass bursts before the charger is killed, which tells us that it died because of the damage to the back and the bleed out or follow-up shots. If the back didn't burst, it could not have been killed by a medium pen projectile unless the desync bug was in effect. You might have experienced something like in this clip, where I killed a charger by shooting under its belly with the Plasma Punisher. And now we can watch him shoot under the belly with a Plasma Punisher. And remember, during this time, this should not kill the charger. So it takes a second here. Point being, let's skip to the end. You can see the charger dies, but the butt was not blown out. So he didn't properly get back shots here. He killed the charger with the Plasma Punisher using the glitch. The explosive damage was desyncing through the armor. Okay, so note how the back did not burst. Instead, the charger just kind of dies without any visual damage. That's the desync bug. So, let's pull up some old clips of Eruptor one-shotting chargers. Eruptor testing versus chargers. Let's look at the clip this person provides. So they find the charger. They killed a hunter. Ricochet, glitch didn't work. Ricochet, glitch didn't work. Ricochet. And there we go. Notice how the charger dies. The leg is all bloody. The butt is intact. So this is like technically a 5-shot, but that's because the glitch didn't work for the first 4 shots or whatever. Like, you can clearly see the leg is bloody, but the butt is fully intact. That is the charger leg glitch. This one got deleted. Here's another one. Eruptor can one-shot chargers, which is balanced. No changes needed. So let's just watch him shoot it. You can see he did shoot the charger seemingly in the ass, and it killed it. However, the butt is intact. So this is desyncing all the damage through the armor and killing it through the main health. All right, here's the next clip. Eruptor can one-shot chargers 1 year ago. It just died. He shot it in the front, and it just died. Like, tell me how this isn't a glitch. Okay? So tell me how this isn't a glitch. Here's another one. The Eruptor can one-shot chargers. Man, I miss the look of old Chargers. We only have behemoths now. Oh, is this the same clip? Oh, that is one of the same clips from earlier. Point being, the butt is intact. It is desync. So, that is the first myth busted. Okay? Eruptor only one-shot Chargers due to armor desync or due to the leg glitch. The Charger armor didn't only desync through the leg, it could also desync through the body. All right, so next let's talk about, oh, well, the Eruptor, when I shot it, I got 15 kills. I was going through my stream. I pulled up a perfect moment where here is a group of completely unaware hunters, and I kill this group of hunters. Okay, let's talk about the types of enemies that you are getting 15 kills on. This is a hunter/pouncer patrol. It is the smallest enemies in the game. I can take a liberator and spray from left to right and back left and kill all these enemies in 3 seconds. What is the difference? I could take a cookout, spray from left to right, and kill all these enemies in 3 seconds. Like, what are we talking about here? So let's just watch me shoot it. 7 kills in 1 shot. Oh my god, so overpowered. If I'm shooting the bottom of a dropship, what types of enemies are on that dropship? Because the Eruptor didn't one-shot medium enemies. And I'm gonna prove that in a second as well. The Eruptor did not one-shot medium enemies, such as Devastators. I believe it could one-shot Berserkers. Let me rephrase that. It didn't one-shot medium enemies anywhere. We'll show that in a second. But point being, it only ever consistently always one-shot the literal smallest enemies in the game. As it should. Like, so does the crossbow. If you shoot the crossbow at the bottom of a dropship, it's going to kill every light bot on there. And if that dropship is full of light bots, you're going to get 12 kills. If it's full of Devastators, you are going to get 0 kills because it takes, what, 2-3 shots from the crossbow to kill a Devastator? And same with the Eruptor, unless you were aiming for pockets of enemies. So, I posted this video on April 30th after they nerfed the Eruptor's explosion radius, but they did not remove the shrapnel yet. And let's hear what I had to say about this a year ago.
Bots, on the other hand, again, the gun does feel fine right now because you can still one-tap Devastators if you shoot near their armpits.
You could one-tap Devastators in the armpit. The launch version of the Eruptor never just willy-nilly one-tapped a Devastator anywhere on the body. And let's continue playing the video because I happened to shoot a Devastator in the body, not in the right spot, in this video. So let's just go ahead and play the rest.
I've also seen people talking about the crotch shots, and you can one-tap them with headshots.
So you could one-tap them with armpit shots, crotch shots, and headshots.
You can also take down Berserkers fairly fast.
It didn't always one-tap Berserkers. I think you could shoot them in the belly. I don't remember because this is a year ago now.
Gun still does have really strong use against those medium-sized enemies that are a lot tankier, and this gun will now reward accuracy. But I will say there have been multiple really weird situations where I shot regular bots who are standing right next to other ones, and for some reason they just didn't really die, even though it seemed like...
So I'm about to shoot this Devastator in the body, and let's see if it dies.
They were close enough together that multiple of the smallest...
Oh, would you look at that? He's still alive.
...enemy that the bots have, by the way, should have.
The Eruptor didn't one-shot bots like Devastators anywhere. It also didn't one-shot Bile Spewers. I should probably go find that clip. But, like, it didn't one-shot medium enemies unless you bounced all the, like, a lot of shrapnel into them. Okay, so let's talk about another bug that the Eruptor took advantage of. And maybe some of you didn't play the game at the time during this, but when the Democratic Detonation War Bond was released, every single weapon in that War Bond had inverse explosions. It was literally sucking the enemies in instead of pushing them away. So if you play with the Plasma Punisher, sometimes you'll lob a shot into a group of enemies, and it pushes them all outwards, and it makes follow-up shots harder to hit. Well, all of the weapons on Democratic Detonation release were doing inverse explosions. So you would shoot a group of enemies, it would pull them in instead of pushing them away, and then the follow-up shot was even more potent at that point. So that's a glitch that is fixed now that it was also taking advantage of. And then let's talk about the shrapnel and the shrapnel damage. So Eruptor, the shrapnel used to do 300 damage, and it used to have 24 pieces of shrapnel. This was 7,200 theoretical damage. Now, ooh, big number, right? This could one-shot a Bile Titan nowadays. Yeah, if every piece of shrapnel goes into it. So, first of all, let's talk about durable damage, because it did 50% durable damage. That instantly cuts the number down to 3,600. Do you know the health pool of a charger nowadays? The main health of a charger now is 3,000. So let's go to enemy stats. Let's scroll down to charger. And let's look at main health. 3,000 main health, 100% durable. So if you hit 90% of the shrapnel all into the charger body, you could one-shot a behemoth charger. This is theoretical damage. Okay, so first of all, if you shoot an Eruptor under a charger and the shrapnel's going in 360 degrees, less than half of the shrapnel is making it into that charger. Like, we could be really generous here and say that half the shrapnel makes it into the charger, but it doesn't. Because number one, if you shoot under a charger, the shrapnel's going to bounce. Some of it's going to go into the floor, some of it's going to go out the sides, some of it's going to go into the legs, some of it's going to go into the butt, and then maybe, like, honestly, I think if we're being generous, we could say 30% of the shrapnel goes into the main health pool. Like, if some of the shrapnel goes into the legs and some of the shrapnel goes into the butt, that's not good. You need to fully destroy one body part of an enemy to kill it in almost all cases. Unless that body part's not even... unless that body part, when you destroy it, it doesn't even kill the enemy. So, like, when we say the Eruptor did 7,200 damage, that is, number one, non-durable damage. It only did 3,600 durable, which is half of that. And then on top of that, you are being extremely generous if you're saying even a third of the shrapnel is going into one body part of an enemy. I think that is extremely generous. So if you cut this by 3, because let's say a third is going into the enemy, now it's only 1,200 durable damage. With the charger health pool at 3,000 now, it would still take 3 shots. So at that point, the crossbow 3 shots the butt, the autocannon 3 shots the butt, a breaker can half mag a butt. Like, what are we actually talking about here? When was this gun ever overpowered? Take off your rose-tinted glasses. Maybe if you're playing on difficulty 5 or difficulty 7, you are getting more mob spawns. So when you shoot a group of light mobs and you're getting 12 kill counts or 15 kill counts, that might seem overpowered. But, you know, if you turn up the difficulty and all of a sudden there's alpha commanders spawning everywhere, I doubt the Eruptor would one-shot alpha commanders now, because they're healthier and more durable than brood commanders. And the Eruptor could only one-shot brood commanders again in the armpit. You had to shoot behind their head so that a bunch of shrapnel would bounce and go back into their head. So, in my opinion, for every single non-balancing reason, from the easy, like making the balancing devs' lives easier, because it's the path of least resistance to just unnerf this gun, to not causing controversies anymore, just unnerf the gun, there will be no controversies about that, to the fantasy of the weapon, which should be a shrapnel cannon, right? I already have explosive weapons I could choose from. I could choose the crossbow for explosive. I could choose a plasma weapon for explosive. I don't want another explosive weapon. I want a different weapon type. Like, that's what this gun is to me. So, and then from the balancing perspective and myth busting that this gun is not overpowered. Like, the launch version really wasn't. Another reason it wasn't overpowered, and it needs that damage, is because it has the worst or tied for worst stats in the game. It has the worst fire rate out of any gun in the game. It has tied for the worst mag size, 5 in the mag. It is tied for the no, I think crossbow has more spare mags. So it has the worst total ammo in the game. Maybe it's tied for worst. But it has the worst fire rate, the worst or tied for worst mag size, the worst or tied for worst total ammo. It has literal negative ergonomics. It is the only gun in the game with negative handling. I could show you that on the spreadsheet. So if we go to gun stats, here is the ergo. All of these numbers are positive. The Eruptor has negative 14 handling. Like, so it has worst fire rate, worst reload speed, worst mag size, worst total ammo, negative handling. You can't use it from up close or you die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this gun has major drawbacks. It needs to be able to one-shot light groups of enemies. It needs to be able to kill a charger in, you know, a reasonable amount of shots. And so, like, this gun was never overpowered. In my opinion, myth busted. And the heavy pen is not the answer because that doesn't lean into the niche of the shrapnel. More explosive damage. Sure, it might be better. It might work fine at that point if it just did a bunch of explosive damage. But now it's just in another explosive weapon, which we have a ton of. I want a shrapnel weapon. Me personally. Maybe you feel different. But personally, I want different weapon types that do unique things. Like using the Eruptor and finding the pocket of the Devastator so that it bounces shrapnel all into the body, breaks the arm, bounces shrapnel into the weapons of the Devastator. That kind of stuff is cool to me. I don't know if it's cool to you. And then, yeah. So, like, why are we rebalancing things 50 times? Oh, by the way, I feel the same about the pummeler. Why are we rebuffing the pummeler now? And it didn't even work. Like, why can't we just revert that to launch? It wasn't overpowered. So, from every perspective ever, like, unnerf this stuff. And it's that simple. So, I guess that was a little ranty. I got a little bit passionate there at certain parts. But that's just how I feel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.